Breaking news, it's another weekend, and this Sunday we'll have a very important game against the Chiefs. Sean Payton is hungry for this victory and promises to use the best strategies to crush the opponents. Man, I trust and believe in the work that Sean Payton is doing, so I believe in this victory. If you also believe that the Broncos will beat the Chiefs this Sunday, hit the like button on the power button. If possible, write something like this: Go Broncos! I believe. The Denver Broncos are facing one of their most critical games in almost a decade, a Week 18 matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs that could determine whether the team returns to the playoffs for the first time since 2015. But there's a twist. Kansas City is resting a significant portion of its star players, including Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones, sparking debates about how this decision could impact both teams. This isn't just one game, it's a playoff-caliber moment for the Broncos, and the stakes couldn't be higher. From Kansas City's perspective, Andy Reid's decision to rest key players has received mixed reactions. On one hand, the strategy prioritizes health and postseason readiness, but on the other, it raises concerns about rust and momentum. As Chiefs analyst Michael Darcy noted, Reid is unlikely to deviate from his usual approach of emphasizing divisional play. However, this game is far from typical. Backup quarterback Carson Wentz is set to lead the offense, supported by a mix of second-string players and practice squad call-ups. The Chiefs will likely adopt a pass rush strategy, avoiding unnecessary risks with their thin roster. While some, like Hollywood Brown, see this as an opportunity to showcase their skills, others argue it sends a questionable message to the remaining active players. Still, the Chiefs are betting that the rest outweighs the risk of losing momentum, especially for veterans like Kelce, who could benefit from the downtime before the playoffs. For the Broncos, this scenario sets up a classic trap game. It's a chance to exploit Kansas City's reduced firepower, but the weight of expectation looms large. As a divisional rivalry, this matchup carries an edge that transcends roster depth. Denver knows all too well the consequences of underestimating a motivated backup, especially with someone like Carson Wentz, who is fighting for his NFL career. Chiefs fans may doubt their chances of victory, but that's precisely what makes this game dangerous. Wentz will have the full backing of Andy Reid's game-planning expertise, and with over a week to prepare, he could prove surprisingly effective against Denver's defense. The Broncos are entering this clash healthier than they've been all season, thanks to a late Week 14 bye and strategic scheduling that has provided extra rest. In contrast, Kansas City's injury list reads like a holiday wish list, with Mahomes, Trent McDuffie, and several other key players sidelined. The Broncos must capitalize on this disparity, but make no mistake, this game won't be easy. Divisional matchups are notoriously unpredictable, and Denver hasn't beaten Kansas City in recent years. This is the moment for the Broncos to prove they belong in the postseason conversation.
Looking beyond this game, the Chiefs' strategy also raises an intriguing playoff subplot. Should Denver secure a victory and sneak into the playoffs, there's a very real chance these two teams could meet again in the postseason. However, this time, Kansas City would be fully loaded, making it a dramatically different contest. The idea of facing a rested Chiefs squad led by Mahomes, rather than a depleted roster relying on Wentz, could be daunting for Denver. But this could also work in the Broncos' favor. Winning on Sunday might force the Chiefs to tip their hand, exposing schemes and strategies they'd rather save for the playoffs. Conversely, Kansas City's conservative approach ensures they hold back crucial elements, preserving their tactical edge for a potential rematch. As for the playoff picture, if Denver does manage to secure a spot, they face an uphill battle. A matchup against the Buffalo Bills looms as the first challenge, with many analysts, including Michael Darcy, viewing Buffalo as the strongest team in the AFC outside of Kansas City. Beating Buffalo on the road would be no small feat, but this Broncos team has shown resilience and determination in recent weeks, making the impossible seem slightly more plausible. Back to the present, the atmosphere surrounding this game is electric. For Broncos fans, this is the most meaningful matchup in nearly a decade. The last time the team played a game of this magnitude was during their Super Bowl winning run in 2015. For younger fans, this might be their first taste of what a high-stakes Broncos game feels like, and the weight of that history isn't lost on anyone. Players, coaches, and fans alike know the significance of this moment, and the anticipation is palpable. The predictions for Sunday vary, but most expect a tight contest. Michael Darcy foresees a 24-17 victory for Denver, while others believe the Broncos could dominate with a more decisive scoreline like 31-13. But divisional games rarely go as planned, and anything can happen. The Chiefs, even without their starters, remain a formidable opponent under Andy Reid's leadership. For the Broncos, the key will be starting strong and maintaining focus throughout the game. An early lead could demoralize Kansas City's backups, but a close game favors the Chiefs, who have a knack for pulling out victories in tight situations. This isn't just about winning a single game. It's about the legacy of a team fighting to reclaim its place among the NFL's elite. A victory on Sunday would be more than a ticket to the playoffs. It would be a statement that the Denver Broncos are back. Now, Broncos country, we want to hear from you. Do you think the team can take advantage of Kansas City's decision to rest their starters? How do you feel about the prospect of facing the Chiefs again in the postseason? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and get ready for what promises to be a thrilling conclusion to the regular season. With Sunday's showdown against the Kansas City Chiefs quickly approaching, the Denver Broncos face a defining moment not just for this season, but for the direction of the franchise. This game is a microcosm of the team's journey, fighting against the odds, silencing doubters, and proving their ability to compete when it matters most. The stakes have rarely been this high for Broncos fans, and the team's recent resurgence has injected hope into a fan base that's been waiting for years to see meaningful January football. Looking deeper into the Chiefs' approach to this game, it's clear they're focused on the long term. Resting players like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, and Isaiah Pacheco reflects a belief that their playoff success hinges on the health and freshness of their stars. Chiefs analyst Michael Darcy highlighted this calculated move, pointing out how Kansas City's deep playoff runs in recent years have taken a toll on their core players. It's not just about Week 18. It's about having Kelce fully recovered, Jones ready to dominate, and Mahomes operating at peak efficiency when the playoffs begin. However, the decision to rest key players isn't without risk. Darcy referenced college football playoff teams struggling after extended layoffs, which could apply to Kansas City as well. Although the Chiefs have proven resilient in the past, like their 2019 comeback win against the Texans in the divisional round, the rest versus rust debate looms large. 25 days of downtime could leave Kansas City vulnerable to a sluggish start in their first playoff game, or risk they're seemingly willing to take. For Denver, this presents a prime opportunity to seize momentum and capitalize on a rare moment of vulnerability for their longtime divisional rival. The Broncos, meanwhile, find themselves in an unfamiliar position. They control their destiny. If they win this game and manage to navigate the playoff gauntlet, they could potentially meet Kansas City again in the second round. Darcy himself admitted he'd prefer to see the Broncos in the playoffs rather than a team like the Cincinnati Bengals. It's not about underestimating Denver. It's about the Chiefs' historical struggles against Cincinnati and their desire to avoid the Bengals in critical playoff matchups. This perspective underscores just how pivotal Sunday's game could be. A win would set the stage for an intense postseason rematch, with Denver proving they can hang with the best. The discussion about Carson Wentz also adds an intriguing layer to this narrative. Wentz is playing for more than just a win. He's auditioning for his future in the NFL. Backed by Andy Reid's game planning expertise, Wentz has the tools to execute a solid offensive strategy. Darcy mentioned the likelihood of quick passes and controlled plays designed to exploit Denver's defense without putting too much pressure on Wentz. While the Chiefs are undoubtedly weaker without their stars, their coaching staff's ability to adapt and make the most of available talent cannot be underestimated. If Wentz delivers a strong performance, it could not only impact this game but also reshape perceptions of his viability as an NFL quarterback. Now, Broncos country, it's your turn to weigh in. Do you believe the Broncos can rise to the occasion and take advantage of the Chiefs' weakened lineup? How do you feel about the prospect of a postseason rematch with Kansas City? And what are your thoughts on facing Buffalo or Baltimore in the playoffs? Let us know in the comments, and get ready for one of the most critical games in Denver Broncos history.